What's up, oddballs? Welcome back to a special paranormal postcard episode here at the Oddity Shop. This is the podcast where we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange stories from around the world that usually we write, but me, Zach, and the other curator here, Kara, after months of asking, years even, have finally enough content to bring you an extra bonus episode. So this is, I think, what is this? This is our third paranormal postcard. Is that right?
Is it? Yeah, I guess it is.
Crazy. Okay, so we got a little mix of everything on here for you. It's kind of going to be loosely like a paranormal theme. We got some of the voicemails. We have one voicemail since somebody listened to us and did a voicemail, mostly some stories.
Mm-hmm.
But real quick, before we get into that, on this wonderful, spooky Halloween week Monday, how are you doing?
Oh, I am doing fabulous. Well, yeah, I'm doing I had to think about it. I'm doing great. It's Monday, so,
Well, we'll take that for a Monday. And usually when you think about it, you don't come back and still say fantastic. So I think that's a win-win.
All right. Great.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you're not going to ask, I'm doing great. I was waiting patiently, but I'm like, you know what? It's Monday.
Since you're not going to ask me how I'm doing.
Ask me one more time how I'm doing.
How are you doing, Zachary?
I'm fine.
Oh my God. And then that's it. I'm fine.
That's all you get at this point. I'm fine, period. All right. With that, though, it's spooky Halloween week. Should we just jump into some fun write-in stories?
Oh, I think we shall.
All right. What's on our first postcard here?
All right. Well, we have a write-in from a disco disaster.
Ooh, that's a fun name.
What do you think transpired that name?
I'm going to assume...
I don't have an answer. I'm just questioning.
A disaster at the disco.
It's like Panic. Oh, like Panic at the Disco, but it's a disaster. Do you think they love Panic?
Maybe the disaster led to Panic. Or Panic led to disaster. It's kind of a chicken and the egg.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool.
Cool. All right. What's on the postcard? Ask me one more time if I'm ready.
Okay. When my grandpa was a kid, something happened that really creeped out my family. At his grandparents' house, his grandma had a ceramic cat figure. It was tall, slender, and had 3 eerie emerald green crystal eyes. 3? Why did it have 3 eyes? Okay. The cat sat on the shelf in the living room, almost like it was watching everything. Would you be afraid of that? I think it sounds cute.
I don't know if I have enough to know if I'd be afraid of it yet, though. But it does sound kind of cool.
Okay. But my grandpa's grandpa, Dave, hated that figure. He always said it felt like the cat was staring at him, and he kept telling his wife to get rid of it. Then, when my grandpa was about 9 years old, Dave got really sick. He eventually passed away at home, and the whole family gathered in the living room to grieve and make funeral plans. My grandpa and his grandpa and his siblings were sitting on the floor trying to understand what had just happened. That's so sad.
That is sad.
That's when they heard a faint clack. At first, no one paid much attention, but when that happened again, everyone looked over and saw the cat figure wobbling.
Okay, now I'm a little freaked out by it.
You know what? This is me, listeners. Kara, I'm an idiot. I just realized, I'm like, why can I not see? Because my freaking laptop screen is turned down so low, I can't even read, and I didn't notice it till just now. I'm an idiot. Okay.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Thanks.
You're actually reading very slow and
because I couldn't see.
Well, it worked after I yelled at you a couple weeks ago.
I'm an idiot. I was wondering why I looked so dark on this camera too. Oh my God, get it together. All right. It started to wobble more, making that same clacking sound as it moved. The cat slowly began to turn, and then it started spinning faster and faster. Finally, it made a full turn, and its eyes ended up facing everyone in the room. Everyone sat there, frozen in silence. Then, suddenly, my grandpa's dad jumped up, grabbed the cat, stormed outside, and threw it in the trash. It shattered into tiny pieces. I'm not exactly sure what happened after, but I do know that the whole thing left my family really shaken. Even now, more than 60 years later, my grandpa remembers it like it happened yesterday. In the end, the family decided that even though he was gone, Dave must have still wanted that cat gone. Who knows? Maybe he did. I think that is phenomenal.
I love it. You hate it in life, hate it in death. You know, it's like, he's like, finally have time. I'm getting rid of this damn thing.
I had replied back to him and I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, you hate when you're living and you hate something, you hate it when you're dead too. Like, it's not going to change. And I just thought it was so funny.
I love it though. Cause like I imagine for his great grandpa, it was probably like one of those guys who was just so busy and always wanted to get rid of it. Now he's like, I have time. Cat's first thing that's going. And he made sure that everyone else hated it on its way out.
Well, because he didn't want to get rid of it, or he couldn't get rid of it because his wife liked it.
Oh, so
after he died, he's like, listen here. I was going to say bitch, but that's rude. Listen here, wifey. Oh, I still hate this.
I love it.
Okay, what you got for us?
Would you like a second postcard?
Of course. Come on now. We don't want just one.
Okay. Well, good thing. We got plenty. This one comes from Chris, who did an online write-in about Myrtles Plantation. So It's a little bit of a longer one, but it's a good story. So my parents have been friends with some of the different owners of Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana, going all the way back to the 80s. They started bringing me to the house when I was about 6, but I was never allowed to stay the night. It wasn't until January of 2003 that I did finally stay the night. One of my good friends was supposed to stay with me in the Bradford suite, but his family wanted to spend time with him since we were both about to be deployed for the invasion of Iraq. So I made the decision to spend the night by myself in my room. I don't think I would do it.
Yes, you would.
By myself? I don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe. Maybe if it was you and me. Yeah.
There we go. I had a great time talking to the other guests and sharing some of the history and ghost stories about the house. It did begin to get late and everyone went back to their rooms, so I decided to call it a night. Now, just for your own edumacation, is what he wrote here. I love that. The Bradford suite.
Edification.
We're going to assume that was supposed to be education. Don't worry, we can't type either.
I like it.
The Bradford suite is on the first floor of the main house and was part of the third phase of the building of the house. The door to the room faces the outside and is on the back porch. It does share a door with the woman's sitting room that remains locked. We know that at least one individual has passed away in the room after losing a fight with either malaria or another disease that was prevalent in South Louisiana in the 1800s. And then in the 80s, one of the owners, named Frances, used this as her private residence. Okay, so that's the education piece. So, back to that night. It was getting late. Everyone else had gone to bed, so I also went to bed. I'm not sure how much time had passed, but I was woken up by someone whispering my name. Nope, that's enough for me to get up in the middle of the night. I wasn't worried because I knew that the kids like to play pranks with guests, and they would also like to play with feet. This comes into play later. Yeah, feet are just gross. I asked if anyone was there and if they wanted to play. I didn't get any responses, so I went back to sleep. Then I heard my name get called a little louder, only this time my feet got hit. It was a violent hit. I felt more like it wasn't a violent hit. It felt like more like a playful nudge, like somebody hit them and ran away. I woke up again and again, asked if anyone was there and if they wanted to play. Again, I never got a response. So I went back to sleep. I guess I should add that the vibe always felt comfortable in the house and grounds when I would go there as a kid. And they still do feel good to this day. I just feel like I am a guest in their home, and the spirits have always been nice and sometimes playful. That's why I didn't go running out into the night and drove away like some other guests have done. So I went back to sleep. Then my feet got hit a little harder, and my name was spoken a lot louder. Okay, now I would start to get uncomfortable.
That's so crazy. Mm-hmm.
This time, my legs actually moved, and my left foot moved over my right as I was sleeping on my back.
Mm-mm.
It was after 2 a.m. by this point, and I was a little annoyed. I'd be more than a little annoyed.
I mean, I guess if you don't feel like the vibe was bad and you don't feel like it's malicious and maybe you really did think it was like kids, like maybe you would just kind of be annoyed and go back to sleep. I don't know.
Fair. Okay.
I don't think we would.
No. Again, I asked if they wanted to play. I said that I was willing to get up and play, but they had to give me a sign. In the absence of any signs that I could hear or feel, I told the kids that I wanted to go to bed and to go harass the other guests. And nothing else happened for the rest of the night. I love that.
That's hilarious.
So the next morning, I met the other guests for breakfast. You used to do breakfast in the dining room in the main house. So everyone was in there talking about their night. The last couple finally came to join us for breakfast, and everyone asked how their night was. The husband said that nothing had happened to him, but that his wife now believes in ghosts, which got us all very intrigued. The wife went on to tell the story. She said that she was laying on her side with her back to her husband when she woke up to 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy, standing next to the bed. Chills. One of the kids reached out with some paper and asked her how she liked their drawings. The lady said she grabbed the papers and saw that they were Crayola drawings. She said she was in a bit of shock and she handed them back after saying they looked nice. Then she rolled over to try to wake up her husband. When she turned, she saw a lady standing on the other side of the bed.
Oh, hell no.
And this lady is usually seen with the kids at most times. And this is from the writer. Our theory, so that one of the adult spirits will try to keep the kids in check like a babysitter, which is great. Even in the afterlife, you have to keep an eye.
That makes sense. That's kind of cute.
The lady then moved to her back and pulled the covers over her head, and that's how she spent the rest of her night. The lady being the lady and her husband. Okay.
Not the ghost lady.
So over the years, I had other interactions with the spirits. One night, I even felt a tiny hand hold mine. I could feel their small fingers and grip, which is kind of sweet. This was during one of our investigations there. Using a laser thermometer, recorded that at any moment, my right hand was almost 15 degrees colder than my left.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Right?
It was holding his own.
And like proof right there, which is the next line. It's hard to write that off as AC. I've seen this be one of the spirits on the grounds. I've smelled random perfume and cigar smoke. I've had doors open and close on me, sounds of walking on the floors that did not belong to anyone there with us. Missed phone calls from phones of friends that were left in the house. That's cool.
Ooh.
And tons of EVPs and pictures, actual EVPs and pictures that don't require you to relax the eyes or squint, or audio where you have to figure out if it was an actual voice or just static. So it sounds like some pretty intense evidence. So he finishes up with, my father had been on a few shows about the house, and I was on HGTV Halloween special about the house. My father has a group called Paladin Paranormal out of South Louisiana. He's helped a lot of families with his group. His group helps families who are trying to understand what is going on in their place. That involves multiple visits with some still ongoing years after the original. With some still ongoing for years after the original visit. We did one place that convinced me that there was such a thing as demonic presence. Feel free to reach out. I love the ending of that. He's like, hey, here's everything about this one house, and I'm going to give you a little teaser about something darker. Talk to me again.
Yeah, dang. I want to look into his dad's group that he's in.
Yeah, and if you are listening from Southern Louisiana and you need some help, check out, what was it? Paladin Paranormal. And Chris, if you're listening to this, we want to hear about the demonic presence, like right now.
Like now?
Yeah.
Like, wow, you should have wrote that into this. Hello.
Come on now.
Give us the demons.
All right.
Ooh,
That was a fun one, though. I think that one's kind of sweet, though. It's just like a bunch of ghost kids and their babysitters. They're like, okay, guys, it's time to go harass the guests. Like, show them your coloring.
That is really funny. And that is probably the one time where I feel like I can confidently say that I don't think that they're little demons pretending to be children, that they probably are actually little children. Like showing their colorings and stuff. Come on. Holding hands.
I love that. I just love like the other ones, just like keeping an eye on them to make sure they don't overstep anything.
Babysitter.
But yeah, sounds like the Myrtles Plantation needs to go on our bucket list.
For sure.
All right.
What do we have next?
Are you going to introduce the next one? Do you want to talk about it? Because this is very exciting.
This is exciting because we've been pleading for write-ins, but then also we were like, well, maybe people don't want to take the time to write in. They would like to call us and tell us some fun things. So we now have a phone number, which is
616-320-4935. Call in now.
And one day we will memorize that.
It is down in the show notes if you haven't memorized it.
Yeah. So we got a voicemail.
Yes.
By a very, very wonderful listener of ours.
Oh, Miss Marielle. So we'll play that for you now.
Hey guys, this is Marielle. And Marielle and Eric will, and send you messages all the time. Anyway, so I had a really quick story and then it told me an idea for possibly an episode. I don't know. So my kid, right, the creepy kid that ate the apple with the ketchup. We have two cats, two grown-ass cats, and she one day just comes up and is like, Mommy, Daddy, I think I want a kitten. And I was like, Baby, you have chickens. She's like, no, a kitten. And I was like, well, baby, kittens are a lot of work. She's 6, mind you. Kittens are a lot of work, yada, yada, yada. Why don't we start practicing for a kitten and you can start taking care of our cats more? Anyway, this was on a Sunday night. Monday morning, she goes outside with her friends and she comes back in and guess what she's got in her arms? This beautiful, tiny, adorable little black cat. It's just this tiny little kitten, which is currently meowing on my chest. And that's what inspired me to call you guys. I would love to hear more stories about familiars and maybe, I don't know, maybe the lore behind familiars. Because I'm pretty sure my child manifested a cat, or she like summoned a cat. I gotta watch out for this one. Anyway, but it was just an idea, and I thought I would call you before I forgot about it because I forget things really fast. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for doing such an awesome podcast. Like my husband and I, every single Thursday, we're like, did you listen to Oddity Shop? And then, like, it's a treat for us. It helps get me through your week. So thank you guys so much. Kara, you're so pretty.
What a manifesting queen. Actually, I think she summoned it.
First of all, for anybody who doesn't know, this is the same one who wrote in about her child after our Black Eyed Kids episode. So we're slowly gaslighting this poor woman into thinking her child is a black eyed kid or conjuring familiars. But I love it, Marielle, because
actually, okay, and now I feel bad because I think we're saying her name wrong. It's Marielle.
Marielle. Oh, okay.
So I'm so sorry. We're
sorry.
Idiots. Marielle.
One, it was great to hear your voice because we've been talking to you for so long and you just, you sound amazing. Thank you for the love to us. But like, yeah, your kid definitely conjured a familiar. She knew exactly what she was doing the day before.
I actually have goosebumps. Like, it's actually really funny, but like, holy shit. What are the chances though that the very next day she'd come home with a fucking kitten?
That's what I'm saying. She knew. Have your kid give us lessons on how to manifest because I want to be that. Or
whatever she refers to it, summoning, manifesting, like ask conjuring. Her, ask her what she did. What did she say?
Yes. I want to know the hints.
Record what she says and send it to us.
Yeah. And thank you to you and your husband, Eric. Oh my God. I'm glad it's such a treat that you listen. It's such a treat every time you reach out and we love it.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate
more voicemails, Marielle, because if you don't, ain't nobody else going.
Right. It's just our inbox will be full of just her. Yeah. All the creepy kid stories. Love it. Oh my God. That was awesome. I appreciate that so much.
Perfect. All right. So I've got one more.
Okay.
Creepy paranormal postcard for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So this is a write-in from Murky, Merky, and it's just titled My Ghost Story. Simple, short, and sweet. I love it.
I like it.
Okay. So this is titled My Ghost Story, and this is, like I said, it was a write-in, and I picked this one, and you're going to know why when I get through the first line. So it's titled My Ghost Story. From my sister when we visited the Queen Mary back in the 1870s. Okay, you know we did it for our 100th episode. 1970s. I can read. And, you know, I love a haunted boat story, so let's go.
When this came in, I didn't even bother reading it because the first sentence was Queen Mary. I was like, nah, Zach's going to steal that one.
All right, so it's been a subject of contention since. I asked her recently to remember what she could have that day, and she wrote, "You were circa 2nd grade and still very much in the early stages of learning how to read. We were standing shoulder to shoulder with our hands on the outside railing of the Queen Mary's outside deck looking towards the ocean. We'd left Mom and Dad out of sight and only relatively nearby to run over to see more of the ocean view. We stopped at a nice open and quiet spot. No one else was close by to where we stood viewing the ocean harbor. In the near distance was an airplane towing a banner advertising an upcoming beach concert."
Do you think it was the Beach Boys?
Ooh, that'd be fun. I mean, it could, timing, maybe a little late.
1970s?
Were they like 50s, 60s? I don't know.
I just went and saw them 2 months ago.
Well, I mean, yeah, but their heyday. Okay.
Goodbye.
So banner advertising an upcoming concert. You stood there and were trying to say out loud the words on the banner and going very slowly as a beginner reader.
You know that was killing the older childs because they're like, you're so stupid.
After a short time of you struggling to read the banner out loud, I heard a woman's voice right behind the two of us. For just half a second, I thought Mom had come up behind us, but then realized the voice wasn't Mom's. But this friendly sounding woman was gently sounding out the next syllable whenever you'd stopped reading out loud when you were having trouble.
That's very cute.
That is the cutest thing
That's
ever.
Very cute.
But the woman sounded quite nice and was gently helping you along whenever you came to any hard combinations of letters.
Oh.
You followed suit in perfect timing with her instructions. But by the end of the banner's message, though, I lost patience and I spoke out loud the very last syllable right at the same moment. I was turning around to smile and thank the woman for her help.
Oh.
But I was confronted with, whoops, this can't be, because there was absolutely no one behind us.
Oh, shit.
Not just right behind us where the helpful woman should have been, but no one in that entire section of the open deck.
I'd pee my pants.
Yeah, and then they put in parentheses, nowhere even for anybody to duck and hide. I don't know if I'd pee my pants, though. I'd still think that was just, like, so cool.
No, for sure. That was a cool one.
Although this one, she might be with you on the peeing the pants. Because the next line is too spooky for me, and I decided we'd better get back ASAP to where we'd left Mom and Dad. So now me, back to the original writer. I saw her. I met her. We talked. Funny thing is, I remember her standing next to me before my sister arrived. She had an old lady flower dress, purse, maybe gloves. Formal. Big fan of QM. Oh, the Queen Mary. Going on about what a beautiful ship. She asked me, don't you think so? I was a polite kid, so I said something like, yeah, it's neat. I was busy looking at the other ships in the harbor. Then my sister arrived, and the above narrative took place. Looking back, I remember her having a strong love for the Queen Mary. She was not too shy to jump in and talk to a kid kind of lady. I think it was her who got me to try to read the banner, or her encouraging me, which was the reason why I was watching it in the first place. I like to think she was the spirit of a woman who traveled once on the Queen Mary, and it was the highlight of her life, and she was just coming back for a visit.
That's really cute.
I am supremely jealous. The only way I would want to, like, if I could relearn to read, would be from a ghost on a boat, from a sweet old lady. That is like...
Out of all the things, you're like, let me go back and relearn how to read just so a ghost lady on a ship can help me.
I mean, I am supremely jealous of this experience.
No,
let's be for real.
Too, but that's not a wish I have to go back. So I have to learn to read.
It's right underneath on my bucket list of being in a cruise ship disaster, and maybe I could like do both with one trip.
No, but that was a good one. So yeah, I definitely think it was somebody that was like spent time on the Queen Mary, like a long period of time for some, for whatever. It would have been not that like now they could do the research because they were very young, but like it would be really cool if they could have like tried to pinpoint what passenger they thought maybe that lady was.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could go now go through like archives if they have any like pictures or documents of people that have been on it and maybe try to narrow it down versus like what they remember this lady looked like. That would be so cool.
That would be cool. Although now too, I'm kind of wondering about what concert it was.
I know. We could probably
All right, Murky, if you remember what the ghost taught you to read.
1970s, where we might be able to figure it out.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah. So serious though, big shout out to Chris, Disco Disaster, Marielle, and Murky, because you guys killed it with these write-ins.
Yes.
Keep them coming. More voicemails, more stories, and we're going to keep bringing you some paranormal postcards. So I don't know. I think we have some more write-ins, right? We've got a few more planned.
Oh, we got a few more. We're good for a little bit. Well, actually, no. I take that back. We're not good for a little bit. I need all of them. All of them. More. You can write 5 at a time. Don't wait for us to ask for more.
As many as you want. You could just fill up the whole voicemail inbox.
You could do that.
With that, make sure you come back on Thursday this week because we will have our Halloween episode out, and it's going to be a really, really fun one.
It's going to be a good one. I'm so excited.
Can't wait to sink my teeth into it. You know what I mean?
Wink, wink. All right. Ooh. This is a short episode. Let's get out of here. We appreciate you. We love you. Thanks for writing in. Thanks for the voicemail. You're all so cute. And I want to see that cat, even though I already saw pictures. I want to see more of the kitten. Anyway, That's all I've got for you guys, aside from Creeperalia oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.